Good morning. Thursday the 4th of November, and I thought it was firework night tonight. It's not till tomorrow. Remember the 5th of November, so we're a day from that. Don't think there's going to be any fireworks going off, I wouldn't think, but somebody said, why are you in the water? Got a text, why are you in the water? Well, this is just one of the rituals, one of the practices that I do every day just to keep myself, I think, giving myself a bit of energy. And the health benefits of, I remember, when the person messaged me yesterday and says, why do you go in the water? And I tell you, it was a guy, it was in Burnt Island, and morning Francis, was just talking about you actually before I got in the water. And it was a guy in Burnt Island when I was up sitting my motorbike test, and he was about 60 and he looked like really young, about 40. And I said, what's your secret? He says, everything in moderation, he says. And he says, and he looked out at the water and he says, I swim in there every day. And I went, wow, that's fantastic. And then I met a few older women up in Mallaig every morning in the Cambustarrick beach, and they used to swim in the water every morning. But why did I get into it? Well, I met a guy about a couple of years ago who was into the Wim Hof stuff, and I know that that's pretty fashionable now. It's trendy to be into that, and if you are, that's great. And it was February 2019. I went down to London for the weekend with a couple of friends to do a weekend workshop with Wim Hof, and that was when I started coming into the water every day, although I wouldn't say that I'm an avid follower of Wim Hof or any method. It just kind of inspired me to come into the water every day. So that's why I do this. Wait a minute. Let me just move over here a wee bit. There we go. Get the waterfall in the background. Right, so this morning, what I want to speak about is furthering on from the conversation. Steam coming off my breath. Furthering on from the conversation I had with Mike Delaney on Monday. One of the things that popped up, and then I was speaking with two friends last night, Anne Hughes and Libby MacArthur, and we were talking about imposter syndrome, right? So imposter syndrome is, and interestingly enough, I'm doing a podcast tonight with Clark Burrell and Lewis Cleland on the imposter syndrome. Okay, so it seems to be that this week has been a lot of discussion around about, morning Kevin, looking for Kevin Boyle's just joined us. He's going to be coming in Thursday night, but let me keep track, focus. Morning Colin, try to keep my mind off the freezing cold temperature. Imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, thinking you're going to get caught out at some point, thinking that you don't belong. So on Monday night I was speaking with Mike Delaney, and that came up in our conversation. I'm doing a podcast tonight, I'm getting interviewed in the podcast tonight, and the subject matter is imposter syndrome. So that'll be available probably in about a week, and the podcast is called A Wee Bit of Everything. So it's AWEEBITOFEVERYTHING, a wee bit of everything, right? So men and women both suffer from the imposter syndrome, okay? Feeling like a fraud, thinking that you're going to get caught out, faking it, really feeling as if you're faking it and not feeling as if you've got any value. The conversation that came up last night, because with Libby MacArthur, well, she's an actor, and what Mike was saying was he's got some celebrity clients and they feel completely empty. They're idealised in so many ways, and they're idealised in so many ways when they're on the stage, and they've got everything, they've got the trappings of success, the Rolls Royces, the Ferraris, the Rolex watches, etc, etc. Yet internally they feel as if they don't have any value, right? Now, I think whether you're famous or you're not, I think that it's safe to say that most of us have felt like a fraud or a failure, or who am I? That west of Scotland, that central Scotland mentality, who am I to be doing this? Now, until you can recognise yourself, I'm laughing at my wee dog, I don't think he can understand why I'm in here either. He's like, looks at me like that, what are you doing in there, Ross? So this is basically men's mental health. So as men, are you feeling like a fraud, like a failure, like you're going to get caught out at any moment? Or do you not have the ability or the capacity to feel, to have the nice car? John McCraig, all right, big chap? I'm all right, but it's really cold in here this morning. It's really cold in here this morning. On a scale from 1 to 10, chaps, how cold do you think it is in here this morning? 12. Oh yeah, it's cold. So have you just bought yourself something really nice, or in the past you don't feel like you deserve it? You've got the nice car, you've got the nice house, you've got the nice wife, you've got the kids, but you don't feel as if you deserve that, okay? So a lot of the imposter syndrome's really complicated. I'm going to go into that on an hour-long podcast tonight with the guys. But what is at the root of that is you not acknowledging yourself. It's not accepting yourself. You're looking for external validation continually to try and prop the system up, right? And when that external world isn't giving you that validation, you're then back to feeling empty. You're back to feeling, it's almost like a drug. It's like you're using the external world to give you this feeling of who you think you are, okay? So underneath that, when you're using you're using your job, or you're using your family or your friends as a way to validate who you are and give you some kind of value or some kind of worth, right? When that's not there, you go back to feeling very empty. And then that emptiness is probably unconscious, subconscious certainly. And that's when it would almost feel like loneliness, right? And a way of fulfilling that loneliness could be through drugs or alcohol or sex or gambling, and trying to meet an unmet need that's inside you. Sorry, I'm really struggling focusing this morning because it's freezing. It's freezing in here. Morning Tina, morning Ross. Right, so imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, feeling like you don't belong, feeling that you're no good enough, feeling that the world's going to catch you, feeling like a fake. Now, as I've said, I'm repeating myself here because I'm probably going hypothermic. I've done my 10 minutes, which is good. That's them leaving. So feeling like a fraud, feeling like you don't belong, feeling that you can't revel in your own success or your own achievements, right? And I think all of us have a bit of that going on, and that we're going to get caught out at some point, and the world's going to see us for who we really are. But that belief system is what you actually believe about yourself. The world's not going to catch up with you for thinking that you're lesser than or that you're not a good person. It's because somewhere inside ourselves we've got that belief system that we're not a good person, right? So we can look at the different layers of that, and behind that there's a lot of deadness, a lot of loneliness, and I think the first step in that is just accepting it, okay? Just accepting that we're all winging it, right? We're all winging it. I didn't know what I was talking about before I went in there this morning, right? Winged it completely. There was no speech rehearsed. I never read it out of a book. And I don't know if you noticed, I thought as if I was going to get carried away because I couldn't feel my feet against it, and I'm no breaking another phone. So I wish you all a really great day. Tomorrow, Thursday night, Kevin, he's not that wee, Kevin Boyle, local laddie, 22, he's been in recovery for about 18 months, and he's going to share his story of recovery tomorrow night, Thursday at 7 o'clock. So have a fantastic day, and thank you very much. Raising awareness for men's mental health, and maybe just take yourself out your own head for a wee while and just ask, are you alright? You know?